Welcome back to My World is Gorgeous. We're inside the house today. You know, I don't do a whole lot with houseplants, but as you see, I have a little setup here in my kitchen, not the greenhouse, where I've made little miniature greenhouses because these are my alocasias. And because I obviously did not have the right humidity in my house, and I keep it a little cooler than normal because I'm always hot, my alocasias went dormant. I mean, completely dormant. So I have these two here. And I'll pop the names of each one on the screen so I can make sure that I'm giving you the correct one. I know I have an alocasia poly, that which is this right here. That one has not come out of dormancy just yet. I believe that it's almost there because I have corums and the original of all of them. This alocasia here is the first one that came out of dormancy. And after that one was these two here. I believe this one was first and then this one. And what I did was I took some small nursery pots that I had. I put perlite inside of them. I took some dollar store clear plastic cups and I set them inside of it, and I put the water level right about here, and I set it on a heat map and took one of my grow lights and just set it in the counter in my kitchen. And once this was at the bottom, I took a second cup and put over top of it and taped it down so when I stuck it under the grow light it would not fall off. Now there's some there's some other ones that were smaller. These right here, smaller corums. And so what I did with these was the same thing, but I had some leftover cupcake containers that I got off of Amazon like about 2 years ago for a birthday party I had for my son. And what I did was, I stuck them inside of here with the same thing. And if I pull this little corum out, you can see it has roots. Okay? So I'm going to put that back in there. Put the roots back under there. And then I'm going to close it back up and stick it back on the heat mat. And what I do is at night, I turn the grow light off, but there are some nights where I keep the grow light on all night. And then in the morning I turn it off, let it get just regular indirect daylight, and I'll just keep it off all day. And then when the nighttime comes, it will be dark, completely dark in here. And yeah, and then the next day I'll turn the light on. So that way it's not getting so much light. Almost like the days where they're slightly cloudy, but then there are days where the sun comes out, but it's not extremely bright. So that's kind of, the effect in my mind as to what I'm doing. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just letting you know what I do. Now, what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to take both of these and put them into one container. I'm going to take both of these and put them in this container right here. I had something came in this exotic angel, which usually when they put that on there, it's just any random flower. It's probably came from Lowe's. But I'm going to put both of these in here, but I'm going to mix it with a little perlite and some moss. And I'm going to wet the moss a little bit inside of this here. And put both of those inside of here because I haven't grown anything in moss before. But I'm going to put both of those in here. And oh my goodness, look at these roots. Look how awesome. Look at these roots, y'all. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the other one has just as many roots. And so both of them, like I said, I will put inside of here. I'm still going to put perlite in it, and then I'm going to have the moss in it as well. And then what I'm going to do is stick it back in here. It won't go all the way down, but I will fill the water level up to where this can still have the moisture it needs. And well, I'll probably put it in a blue one and then put the white one on top, and then I'm going to tape it back to keep the humidity in the area for this. But I only want to put those two in there. Now I'll do a close-up on each one of the alocasias that I have. I only had 3 alocasia plants, and like I said, all of them went dormant. And not only did all of them go dormant, they all had corums as well. So this one in here, I thought it was rotting, but then I saw that it had roots. So I got the rot spot off and kept the root spot. I don't know if that one is going to continue to rot or what's going to happen with that one, but all the other itty bitty corums are fine. This one I have inside of, I'll put the type of material that I have this in. It's a type of, I don't want to say rock, but almost like a clay rock or something. And so that's what I have this one in. And I'm just looking at different ways of growing these and making sure that they have the humidity that's needed. I did purchase a cabinet, glass cabinet that I'm going to turn into a in-house greenhouse, and I'll do a video on that. It's just that I need to get all the materials for it because I need to paint it. I need to seal it off and all of those things. So we'll be doing a DIY video on that. And it was an item that I got from the Goodwill for about 20 bucks. So that was one of my Thrifty Tuesday finds as well. All right, so I'm gonna put you guys on the tripod, and then we're gonna swap these alocasias out of here into the other container, and hopefully it will still do great. And we're still gonna keep it under this grow light and on this heating mat to keep the humidity where it needs to be. All right, so be back in just a sec. All right, so what I've done is I've taken both of these alocasias out of here. I've put water inside of this moss, which this one is the orchid moss, which is still a form of the shagnum, or I think is how you pronounce it, moss, but the orchid one is more of a premium grade. So it's, supposed to be a little bit better. So this is the orchid moss, and I'll end up squeezing the water out of that. I just want to make sure it's really absorbed. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this one in the bottom. Slide that over. And this one. And like I said, I'm not saying that anything that I'm doing is correct. I'm going to squeeze this out over here. I'm in my kitchen, so I'm just squeezing it out over the sink. Pour some of this water out of here. Set that back in here. See, if you see, I've squeezed the excess water out. And what I want to do is put some of this at the bottom, and then I want to put this in here. Let me turn it. Take a little bit more and put around here. All of these have really good roots, and I am praying that this does what I want it to do. All the things that I'm doing, I've seen on a few others videos, except for the part with putting the perlite at the bottom. That was just something I wanted to do. Make me feel safe. And if it doesn't work, then I shall know, right? We'll know. Trying to make sure that my stem Doesn't have too much on it. But I did see on someone's channel, and I'll list a few of the people on here as to who I watch. But I'm going to see how this does for a couple of days. Oh, and I forgot that I had this little container here, which actually worked a whole lot better than the cup because it fits all the way inside of here. So because that fits all the way inside of there, I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to put the cup on top, and it actually fits perfectly without me even having to use tape. And I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can actually see. All right, so as you can see, I stuck it inside of here, and this was something that looked like some cantaloupe came in from Food Lion. But this little bottom container here, which worked perfectly, and the cup sits so perfectly on top of it, and look, it doesn't move. But I like it because this nursery pot actually fit perfectly inside of it, whereas had I stuck it in the cup, I would have still had a good about this much from the bottom, and I would have had to really fill that up, and I really didn't want to do that. So now what we're gonna do is, guess what, we're sticking it right back on the heating mat underneath the light. They both are in here, which is great, and hopefully they'll do good and they'll just continue to grow up. And eventually I will probably put them over either to soil or leave them in the perlite and the moss. Okay, just so you see a picture, this is the moss that I have here. All right, and the other items were ceramic balls that I got and off of Amazon. The orchid moss I got from Lowe's. The balls that are in this one, the ceramic balls, I got off of Amazon. Temu sells them as well. Okay, and actually I think those were some I got off of Temu, not Amazon, but Amazon does sell them. And these little cups here, I did get off of Amazon some years back. They are just some repurposed cupcake cups. Then I have these here, which whenever I'm at the store and I get little cups of fruit, I wash them and keep them because they're really good for starting things in, or little plants that I want to propagate. I can actually put the plants in here and pop these tops back on them, and it really allows me to be able to propagate these things. So these are refurbished. So I keep a lot of those things. So now I'm going to clean up. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.